All right, buckle up, because today we're going deep on one of the most legendary moments in music history.
Oh,
Queen at Live Aid, 1985.
huge.
We've got articles, transcripts, the whole 9 yards. And our listener wants to know, how did one 20-minute set basically make them rock gods?
Well, the thing is, by 85, a lot of people thought Queen was, well, kind of over.
Past their prime?
Yeah, there was criticism. They weren't getting along so well. America wasn't really into them anymore.
Like they'd lost that spark.
Kind of,
So
yeah.
Live Aid was a big risk.
Huge gamble, make or break.
Okay, so let's back up.
Sure.
Your sources go way back. Queen's early days, how they got famous, all the ups and downs. It's a whole story.
It's like a rock and roll epic. You got to know the whole thing to really get Live Aid.
All right, so take us back.
We're talking London, 1970, 4 guys, Freddie Mercury, Brian May, John Deacon, and Roger Taylor.
A classic lineup.
Exactly. They're playing small gigs, figuring out their sound.
And Freddie, was he already like Freddie Mercury back then?
Oh, it was brewing. That energy, the stage presence, it was all there, just needed to be unleashed.
And they were struggling, right? Like most bands starting out.
Oh, yeah. Classic story, paying their dues. But they eventually got a deal with Trident Studios, then EMI, then Elektra.
They worked their way up.
They did, and then, bam, debut album in 73.
Then Queen Road right after.
Yep, they were developing their style, but they weren't, Queen yet.
Not global superstar.
Not yet, but then.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's where everything changes.
Things get interesting.
That song, 6 minutes long, rock and opera. Who even thinks of that?
Freddie did. It was his vision. Totally crazy for the time.
And EMI almost didn't release it.
Could you imagine? That's insane, right?
It's one of the most iconic songs ever.
It was too weird for them. 6 minutes long, opera. They thought radio wouldn't play it.
But thank goodness for people like Kenny Everett, that DJ, and the music press. They got it.
They understood.
They championed the song, and it went to #1.
For 9 weeks. 9 weeks at #1. And that music video, groundbreaking.
It was like a mini-movie, changed how people saw music videos.
And A Night at the Opera, the album with Bohemian Rhapsody, that cost a fortune to make, right?
A fortune. They really believed in that song, even when everyone thought it was too weird.
And it paid off. They became huge, globally.
Huge! A Day at the Races, News of the World, hit after hit.
We are the champions. We will rock you. Those are like anthems now. Everyone knows them.
They're part of our culture. You hear them at every sporting event, every graduation.
So they were at the top, but then
But then things started to change.
cracks started to show.
Exactly. There were tensions in the band, Freddie was becoming more influential, and their music started to shift.
Hot Space. Right. That album was a bit different.
Yeah, they went more disco, funk.
Yeah.
Not everyone liked it.
Brian May, the guitarist, he wasn't happy about it.
He said so publicly, yeah.
And Roger Taylor, the drummer, he had doubts too.
It wasn't just within the band. America wasn't really feeling it either.
America was like, what is this?
Yeah, early 80s America, there was a backlash against disco, everyone wanted rock, and Queen went full-on dance pop.
Bad timing.
Plus, Freddie's image, he was getting more flamboyant, pushing boundaries. It wasn't what America expected.
And the video for I Want to Break Free with Freddie and Drag.
Oh, yeah, that didn't go over well.
Not at all. It was too much for some people.
It was a different time. Those images were really controversial. Some fans were upset. Some critics were really nasty.
Queen's popularity took a hit.
Especially in America.
So by the time Live Aid happens, they weren't the Queen they used to be.
They'd lost some of their shine. The world had moved on a bit.
So Live Aid was a chance to prove themselves.
Yeah, to remind everyone what they could do.
But the pressure must have been immense.
Huge pressure. The whole world was watching. They had something to prove, for sure.
Yeah, like they had a point to make.
And they did. But before we get to that performance,
Yeah.
your sources, they really dive into Freddie's solo stuff, his songwriting. It's another level of genius.
Oh, totally. Even when things were, a bit messy with Queen,
Right.
Freddie, he was always creating, always writing.
Constantly.
So many different styles, too.
He just pulled from everywhere. Rock, pop, even a little bit of vaudeville sometimes.
That's true. It's all in there.
And then you have Barcelona with Montserrat Caballé, the opera singer.
That's range.
Talk about range.
What an album. It shows how fearless he was, always pushing the boundaries.
Absolutely.
He didn't care if he lost some fans. He had to be true to his vision.
And the speed, he wrote a crazy little thing called Love in like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Get out of here.
In the bath, he said, 10 minutes.
That's faster than I can, order a pizza.
Right.
What was it about his songs, though? Why did they hit us so hard?
Well, his lyrics, they're about love, loss, figuring yourself out, real stuff.
Yeah, deep stuff.
And he's honest, vulnerable. People connect with that.
And that voice, come on.
4 octaves, powerful, so much emotion.
One of the best ever.
No doubt about it.
But those later years, he was sick, right?
He was battling AIDS, yeah.
That must have been so tough.
It was, but he kept working, recording with Queen, doing solo projects right up to the end.
Wow.
Literally recording vocals until he couldn't anymore.
That's dedication.
It's heartbreaking but inspiring too, his commitment to his art.
Absolutely.
When he died in 91, it was a huge loss for music, for everyone.
The whole world felt it.
And the Freddie Mercury tribute concert in 92?
Oh, yeah.
That shows how much he was loved. Everyone was there.
So many legends.
All the greats came together to celebrate him.
And Queen's music, it's still going strong.
Absolutely.
New fans all the time, movies, TV, it's everywhere.
It's timeless, but it's also so connected to that time, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it's a weird combo.
It's a rare thing.
And Freddie, his look, his style, he's still an icon.
He is.
Okay, but back to Live Aid.
Right.
You said they had something to prove.
They did, and they prepared like crazy 2 days of rehearsals, intense stuff.
They weren't messing around.
They knew this was it. A global audience, their chance to get back on top.
It was their shot.
Yeah, some bands like Status Quo, they opened the show, they kind of seemed surprised by how big it was.
Overwhelmed, maybe?
Yeah, but Queen, they understood.
They had a plan.
They picked all the hits, showed their range, and of course, Freddie's stage presence.
Oh, man.
Legendary.
He was magnetic.
He owned that stage, drew everyone in. It was a master class in how to connect with an audience.
So they opened with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bold move, right?
Not your typical opener.
But it was like, we're Queen and we're back.
A statement.
Then Radio Gaga, the whole stadium doing the hand claps, chills,
Sits-up-umps.
Hammer to Fall, Brian May shredding on guitar.
Amazing.
Then, bit of fun, crazy little thing called Love, Freddie's charisma just shining.
He was having a blast.
Hey, and to close it out, the knockout punch, We Will Rock You, into We Are the Champions.
Come on, that's how you end a show.
Perfect emotional arc. They planned every detail. It was a masterclass.
So they stole the show, right?
Stole it, no question.
Especially in America.
Oh, yeah. Their career reignited. Albums flew off the shelves. They were back.
On top.
Live Aid was their resurrection.
Crazy how one performance can do that.
It is, but there's something people forget. Freddie was sick during Live Aid.
Really?
Yeah, he had a bad throat infection. Doctors told him not to sing.
No way.
But Freddie, being Freddie, he did it anyway.
The pressure, the whole world watching, and he's sick.
Imagine that.
And he gives one of the greatest performances of all time.
It's unreal.
Shows you his dedication, his willpower.
He channeled all that pain, all that struggle into something incredible.
There's a story about him pacing backstage, nervous. Then he walks out.
And boom, Freddie Mercury takes over.
Like a switch.
He knew how to work a crowd. Even watching it now, it's captivating.
He was mesmerizing.
It wasn't just the showmanship, though.
It was more than that.
He was authentic. He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable, to let people see his emotions.
He was sharing himself.
And people felt that. They saw his passion, his joy, his love for performing.
It was infectious.
He poured his heart into that performance.
But it's not just about Queen, right?
Right.
Live Aid was bigger than that.
Much bigger.
It was a global event.
Huge impact on music, on culture, on everything.
Live Aid was a huge deal.
It was like a cultural earthquake.
And Queen was right in the middle of it.
Exactly. They're at the epicenter.
Think about their music.
It went everywhere.
It crossed all the lines.
Borders, languages, genres, everything.
They influenced everyone.
Metal bands, pop stars, everybody.
It's true. Their music is everywhere. Movies, TV shows.
Video games, you hear it everywhere.
It's like part of our lives now.
And it's not just the music, it's Freddie too, how he expressed himself, his style.
Yeah, he was so bold, so out there.
He challenged everything, made people think differently.
It was inspiring. He was like, be yourself, don't be afraid.
And the fashion.
Oh, the fashion.
These jumpsuits, the leather, the studs.
It was a statement.
It was art, and he owned it.
He was an icon.
And their music videos, they were game changers.
Yeah, totally new and different.
They used all these crazy techniques, special effects. They were like mini movies.
They were pushing the boundaries.
And you know what's amazing?
What?
Queen brought people together from all over.
They did. Different backgrounds, different countries.
It's like their music is a universal language.
Everyone understands it.
It connects people.
Think about those anthems.
We will rock you. We are the champions.
You hear them at sporting events, graduations.
Even protests.
It's powerful stuff.
Their music, it lifts you up, it inspires you, it unites people.
Not many bands can do that.
It's a special legacy.
So, Queen's impact, it wasn't just about the music.
Yeah, it was bigger than that.
They changed how we think about self-expression, individuality, how we tell stories with visuals,
It changed culture.
and it's still evolving.
New generations are discovering them all the time.
It's amazing.
It's the power of great art. It lasts.
4 guys from London, back in 1970.
Who knew they'd become this huge?
It's a reminder that art can change the world.
It can transcend time, leave its mark.
Live Aid was a turning point for them.
It brought them back, made them legends.
It was a performance that showed their talent, their resilience.
It connected with people on a deeper level.
It makes you wonder, what makes a performance truly iconic?
Is it talent, timing, the right moment?
Or is it something else, something we can't explain?
That's the mystery of it all.
And that's what we love about these deep dives, the mysteries, the stories.
It's a journey.
Thanks for joining us on this one, exploring Queen at Live Aid.
It was a wild ride.
Until next time, keep digging deeper.
Whisper.